Okay, so this is the new LR3 frame from Tomoquads, and what makes this frame really unique is that this thing will fold up to make it a little bit smaller than it looks like here. I mean, 3-inch micro is already pretty small, but this thing can go even smaller. And I'm going to show you that here in a little bit. I'm going to first talk about the build, the frame, and the components I've used. The frame itself here is slightly different from the production version. This is almost the final version. The arms are a little bit narrower than they'll be on the production version. He made them about, I think, 2 or 3 millimeters wider on the arms just to give it a little bit more strength, because they are fairly thin arms here. They're just 2 millimeters thin or thick. So all the arms are 2 millimeters. I think the bottom plate, top plate is also 2 millimeters, and then there's this little vanity, like, I don't know what this is, sort of laminated decorative plate there. That's also 2 millimeters. There's 5 of these standoffs here. I think those are 20 millimeters tall. He did include some longer standoffs here that you could use. I'm not sure if the production ones are going to come with the longer ones or not, but if you wanted to use taller standoffs here, you could do that so that you can put more stuff here in the stack. And I think that's specifically one more board here. If you want to add a turtle camera, for example, that'll fit in here. If you want to use, I don't think a split mini will fit in there. It's 2 boards, and even with the extra height, it might not work unless you get kind of creative. Now, the weight of the bare frame without any electronics in it was about 32 grams, as you see here, and then with all the parts that I put in here, no battery, it comes in at 99.5 grams. In terms of the dimensions here, I don't think this is, it looks kind of like a dead cat, but I don't think it is a dead cat. So the motor to motor comes in at 145 millimeters. The side to side is about 116 millimeters. And also on the back arms, the side to side is the same, about 116 millimeters. So it's not a dead cat. And the front to back comes in at 85 millimeters. So yeah, definitely a lot wider side to side than it is front to back here. Okay, so now in terms of the parts, not really anything too amazing here. We've got Fox here, micro arrow in the front. I've got a stack here, 28 amp 4-in-1 EC with a flight controller with video transmitter on a single board. I've done a review on this stack already before. This single board here is an F4 flight controller with a power switchable video transmitter. I think it goes up to 200 milliwatts, and then using a UX2 circular polarized antenna there that connects via a micro FL connector right there. I think this is maybe a relay CC. And then I have some sort of generic FreeSky receiver in here, just has a single antenna. Seems to work fine. And then the motors that I'm using, running 4S on this one, and these are the RCX 1304 4000 kV motors, and I'm using the Gemfan dual bladed here. These are the 3025 propellers. And in terms of this folding up, pretty simple to do. There's this screw that goes into these nuts here. These are some M3 nuts. This actually holds the arms in place, and that's the pivot point for the arms. You just have to remove this screw here from the standoff, and that will let the arms pivot, and you can fold up the arms that way. Now, if you don't want to use this standoff here to save some weight, he did include a couple extra of these nuts here. I think that's also all included in the production kit. You can use the nut there instead of the standoff here and save a little bit of weight, and use the nut there with that screw if you want to. But I'm going to go ahead, I'll take that screw out, and then we'll fold up the arms and I'll show you what it looks like folded up. Okay, so once the screws are out, you just, I think you just slide the back arm back like so. And I think there's a certain limit to how far it'll go. I think this is about it right here. And then you can move the front arm back. What I think what I'll do is I'll move the other arm, the other side back, even it out. Kind of looks like that. And you kind of want to be careful of your motor wires. Yeah. You can see that I left a lot of slack here so that they don't get pinched too much. So you can see that it is going to get pinched a little bit there, so it's probably going to limit how far you're going to want to go with those. Same on the other side over here. That's got a little bit more space. And you got to watch out where the props go. So that's about the limit on this side and this side. And go ahead and slide the front arms back. And the same deal here. I left a lot of slack in the motor wire so that it doesn't get pinched when you fold up the arms here. You can see I want to pull these out a little bit. So this is I think I need a little bit more slack there, but I think that's about most of the front arm's going to go back there. And the same on this side here. Hopefully I left enough slack there. Yeah, it'll go back. So then this is about, I think that's about the most I can get the arms to go back. I have a little bit of tape here that I think is preventing the front arm can only go so far back. So if you use a smaller piece of tape, maybe you could get that arm to go in a little bit further, because I have that tape there, and these arms are basically right on top of each other. This is about as small as I'm going to get this collapsed. So this is what it breaks down to about. Pretty cool looking. So if you're into the collapsible stuff like this, put into a really small space, you can see this is about the size of my hand now. So definitely smaller than before. Although 3 inches was pretty small before. This collapsed it down a little bit. And then just to put it back to the way it was, this is the tricky part, is you got to line up 3 holes, this sandwich plate along with the 2 holes in both arms to get this to work correctly. See, the front arm goes about there, and then the back arm is about there, and then you should be able to get the screw back in. There we go. Yep. And then you just tighten the screw down, and that will lock the arms in place. They actually don't move, and you'll see that in the flight demo. There's no vibrations or anything like that. I just flew this with I think this stock PIDs on Betaflight 333, and surprisingly I didn't have to do any tuning. It didn't have any oscillations or vibrations. Obviously you could tune it a little bit more because these are just a stock tune, but I thought it flew totally fine. And I didn't really feel the need to do any more tuning. It totally flew fine. I didn't have any issues with flight characteristics. I know that some of you guys are saying, oh, the stack's in the back, but that makes no difference because I think the newer versions of Betaflight don't care where the gyro is. The gyro could be way back here. Somehow it knows that where the center of gravity is, and even though it looks like the stack's way in the back here, it's actually closer to the center of gravity. It's closer to the center of gravity than you would think it would be. So yeah, it's a pretty cool concept. I like the design, and I thought it flew totally fine. I know there's concerns out there that this folding design might not fly so well, and you'll see in the flight demo it flies totally okay. Obviously, if you want to do the folding part, I would recommend going with the 2-bladed props instead of a 3-bladed prop, but if you don't want to do any folding, then 3-bladed will be totally fine. Plenty of clearance here, obviously, for a 3-inch prop. Either way, no issues there in terms of clearance, and I thought it flew totally fine. You'll see that in the flight demo, so I might as well go ahead and show you that. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Talk to you guys in the next one.